Today we're talking about why pride is more important than ever. So if you want to watch me go from this to this trans diva doll icon, then please stay tuned. First step is wig cap, eyebrows glued down and face tapes, and then we'll be good to go. A big glamorous egg. Wig cap on, brows glued down, face tapes on. I wanted to create a look that was inspired by the trans flag, not completely exactly the trans flag, because I'm not a huge fan of the trans flag colours in makeup on me. I think it looks really gorgeous on other people, but that's just not for me. I want to do something really smoky and strong, and I'm going to tell you in a little bit why I want to do something so strong. I'm going to start by sketching my brows out in black, and I want them to be really strong, but like, I want them to always be like a bit gothy. A bit like 90s, kind of like arched, high, pencil thin. So I'm going to sketch them on first, and then they might get tweaked a little bit later. It's just like so that I have a bit of a stencil there. Now that I've sketched on the brow with some black eyebrow pencil, I'm going to use my tight liner brush from MyKitco to reinforce that colour, just with a bit of eyeshadow on the end of it. Eyeshadow base next, using the P. Louise in Rumour, shade number 1. Now using the MyKitco My Soft Multi, build up coverage and create the perfect base for my eyeshadow application. I'm using a P. Louise eyeshadow, which is a really gorgeous deep purple, to create the crease. And then this is going to blend out into those beautiful powdery pinks and blues that we see associated with the gorgeous trans flag. I'm just loading that on the eye with MyKitco's My Smoothing Shadow Brush. I'm going to start blending the edge of this purple out now because it's quite a dark and intense colour, and I want to blend out into like a soft pillowy colours. I don't want to go straight in with those soft pillowy colours and then like panic. So I'm using a fluffier brush now, a softer brush that's going to help me just diffuse the edge a little bit, and then when I go in to apply my powdery tones, it's going to be much easier. So it's Pride Month, and this year Pride Month feels a bit different. Originally Pride started as a protest. It was something that was created as a way to raise money, as a way to raise awareness around queer issues and for vulnerable queer people. And now we're at this place in time where trans people specifically, and other queer people, are really having their rights rolled back. If you look at the UK and America, and I'm sure it's happening in the rest of the world as well, things are kind of getting a bit crapper. I've been feeling really like heavy-hearted lately, and you know, watching the trans rights sort of start to roll back in the UK, it's kind of frightening and sad, especially after so many years of us fighting for progress. You know, trans people deserve safety, dignity, freedom to exist, like without constant fear or like debates over our identities. It's something that I've cared about for a really long time, and through a lot of my work with Wow Gals, I speak to people every day who are really affected by this. I'm affected by this. My friends are affected by this. My loved ones are affected by this. You know, some people are like even more afraid to come out about their transness now. Some people are like being pushed back into the closet, and they're really struggling with their identity. And it's just really sad. A very vocal minority who are pushing back against trans rights are kind of getting like elements of what they want. But the reality is, love always wins. The only thing that we can do is be true to who we are. And so these people can shout and scream all they want to about not liking us, but we're always going to be here. I feel like my business, Wow Gals, has never just been about makeup. It's never just been about hair and like being girly for the day. It's about creating a space where people come and can feel welcome. And I'm really, really proud to be doing that for people and to have like made something. But this is why I make videos like this and I talk to people, because it goes further than just like the what 6, 7, 8, however many walls are in this room around me, and it's so much more important than that. So I kind of wanted to make videos like this and talk to people about how our rights are changing and our rights are being rolled back and things are getting a little bit more shitty out there for us. But you know, it doesn't have to be like that. Things can feel really scary at the moment, and they do feel scary at the moment, but it doesn't have to feel scary. There are so many people out there who love us, deeply, deeply love us, and deeply understand how important and special and actually how incredible we are. This crease is missing one thing, and that is a pop of white in the middle for the trans flag, and I'm going to use a bit of glitter for that. Ding, 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 ding. Cool. I think that crease looks kind of fun. So I'm going to do the rest of the eye makeup off camera. I'm basically just going to stick some eyeliner on, do my little cunty eyeliner points I like to do, and we'll talk a little bit more about why I feel so empowered to be trans. Oh, much better with a bit of eyeliner on. We're going to move on to skin next, which is always my favourite bit. I'm using the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation today, which is a nice, good coverage, long-lasting, like thick foundation. And I'm going to apply it with the MyKitco My Flawless Contour Brush. Like tapping all over with the sponge just to finish it up. I want to do blush with this look. I want a hell of a lot of pink, pink, pink blush. Before I do the actual blush, I want to put a bit of structure in there as well. So I'm going to use the MyKitco My Cream Complexion Brush. So we're going to go right down the nose with the contour shade, and then we're going to bring our highlight in after the blusher, blusher, blusher. Party Pink Blush by Made by Mitchell is a really gorgeous one. Applying that again with another MyKitco brush, My Flawless Complexion Brush. Being trans has given me this kind of like strength that I never expected to have. I was always really ashamed of my transness growing up, and I was kind of hiding it for a long time. And I now feel this almost like grounded resilience that comes from, I think, like actually knowing who I am. Even when the world is like telling me that I'm not who I am, I still feel this sense of like calm by knowing that I am who I am. For me, femininity is so full of strength and so full of power. Now that I've really truly leaned into my femme side, that I just feel incredible. Anyway, lots and lots of blusher and lots of pinkness, and we're going to enhance this blusher even more. I'm going to throw some concealer on, get that blended in, and then start setting my face now. Using the My Smoothing Powder brush, I'm just dusting the excess powder off and making sure that everything is thoroughly set, but not completely taking away the shine, because we still want a bit of glow on those cheeks, don't we? And we're going to enhance that now using a lovely powder brush, powder, blush, and loads of highlighter with the My Powder and Blush brush. You cannot convince me that the Doll Beauty highlighter is not the best highlighter in the entire world. I do think they've changed packaging recently. This is just my ride and die, and I swear to God, when I am like 90 years old, you will have to pry this out of my cold, dead hands. And I know it's old-fashioned, I know everyone's over it, but I think that this is a look that calls for lots of highlighter. Honestly, it's giving pheromone. Okay, lashes and a bit of a tweak all over, and now I'm going to throw on a lip. Okay, so I've done this sort of like soft, like pinky kind of lip. A little bit skeptical. Let me know what you think. But I'm going to go and do my final transformation, get all my glam and everything on, and then we'll come back and we'll discuss a few more things. So here's the final look. Some kind of like vintagey pin-up goth trans icon doll is what I'm going for. That's kind of like the inspiration. This is the kind of femininity that brings me power and strength. This kind of like strong, like dominant version of femininity is just all me. So whenever I thought about what kind of a look I was going to do, it was this. But back to the all-important topic of Pride. I know that this Pride Month is going to be a little bit weird for some people out there, for some trans people and queer people out there are going to be feeling like it's a bit rough. And I understand that, and I feel exactly the same way, but I want you to know that it gets better, and it will not always feel like this. So stay visible, stay proud, my friends, and let's all have as much of a fabulous Pride Month as we can. Much love to you all from your Auntie Patty. Mwah. Yes, before you ask, it is a clip-on fringe.